my children! Adam Ellis has grown in popularity over the last several years, thanks to his independent horror short stories. So, let's enjoy a few of them from this collection, shall we? We won't go over all of them, but here's a small sample of 3 that I particularly enjoyed. Starting with the very first one, Me and Evangelene at the Farm. The narrator describes how his grandparents had their own farm and ranch out in the middle of nowhere. They had collections of sci-fi and horror films that they recorded off the TV on VHS tapes, letting the narrator watch them all as a child. However, his favorite one was a black and white movie that nobody else had ever heard of. It's not helped that the beginning and end credits were cut off, so there was no title to it. Instead, it was simply labeled as Evangelene after one of the characters. The story of the movie is about a farmer who finds a crashed alien spacecraft in his cornfield, along with a single injured alien woman. He nicknamed her Evangelene as he nursed her back to health. The two fell in love, but one night, dark figures stood out in the hills watching the house, and Evangelene confirmed that they were dangerous. For whatever reason, they could not fight the figures. So instead, they barricaded themselves in part of the house, sealed it all up, and accepted that they would die together. The narrator is unable to find the tape again as an adult after his grandparents have died, but he does find a sealed-off basement in his grandparents' house, and the skeletons of Evangelene and the farmer. It wasn't a movie at all. It was a home video. Weird that the farmer recorded himself rescuing the alien, nursing her back to health, and his decision to die with her in a sealed-off basement. But hey, love does weird things to you. Next up is a take on an old classic, The Green Ribbon. Most kids, or at least if you're a kid in the 90s, have heard of the tale of the Green Ribbon, about a man who fell in love with a woman who always wore a green ribbon around her neck, never removing it for any reason, and she fails to give an answer as to why until they are old and dying, in which case the ribbon comes off, and so does her head. But here we get a new take on it. The husband grows increasingly resentful of her in this version, especially she gets sick and her appearance grows more ghastly. He begins to court another woman and proposes to her, informing the woman in the green ribbon that he refuses to be with a woman who won't even be honest with him about the ribbon. She agrees to let him untie it and her head falls off, but her body continues to move. He locks the body up in her room, instructing his new wife to never open the door and to ignore the sounds from it, until one day when he gets home, annoyed that his wife is not there to greet him, discovers the room opened. No doubt his wife found the key to the lock, and discovers the body of his old wife now attaching the decapitated head of his new wife onto her body and tying a green ribbon around her neck. He doesn't ask about it anymore. Bah, she stayed with him? Girl, you deserve so much better than him. Certainly someone who doesn't insist you change who you are. I think you're pretty even without the head. And finally, let's watch another classic episode of Better Kate Than Never! A girl named Kate wakes up and her family seems off. She seems a bit confused about her own life, but especially when her sister Taffy keeps getting uproarious laughter while she gets nothing. She is sent to bed in the middle of breakfast and warned by Taffy to not go in the basement. Taffy explains to her later that she is not the first one to be Kate. The original has been gone a long time, something to do with her older brother. She went into the basement and then never came back. There have been other Kates since, but nobody has tested well with the audience. Taffy warns that they're going to do the same to her, then leaves her some tape on her side table. The next morning, her mother instructs her to get some paper plates from the basement. She goes, but remembering the tape, puts some on the middle of the door so it can't lock after she goes down. There, she discovers a long hall with grave after grave of Kate's, and an open one ready for her, along with a monstrous man asking if he gets to bury her now. She escapes the basement and goes into the empty audience, finding an old ticket stub that reads, Better Kate Than Never, episode 432 of season 768. And then she walks out. Hopefully, my children, we can see Kate again when they bring her back for sweep season.
What you reading?